To be young and in love in New York City. Do not know who I am, but still know that I'm good long as you're here with me.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. So I am back from California. Don't remember if I talked about it on my YouTube channel, but I went to California. One of my best friends from like when I was 5 years old, Emily, she lives in like San Jose, Stanford area because her husband goes to med school at Stanford. So one of my other best friends, Taylor, and I, we flew. She's from Chicago. Well, she's from Indiana, but she lives in Chicago right now. So she flew and I flew to Stanford to visit Emily. And I guess I'll just talk to you guys about my weekend and I'll insert some pictures, but I need to kind of fold my laundry. So I'm gonna go ahead and do both maybe at the same time. Perhaps I can sit down and fold laundry and also be in the frame. But so Friday, that's not too bad. So Friday I flew there and had to leave my house at like 3 in the morning. And we went to this place that Emily had been quite a few times because they had really good happy hour deals. It was like $5 for drinks on during happy hour, or $5 for like a glass of wine, which for California is incredibly cheap. So we went there and we had like, it was a Brazilian steakhouse. It was started with a P, I think. But we just like ordered appetizers there, like fried calamari, yuca fries, and then just drank a bunch of wine. But I was like trying really hard to keep it, I don't know, keep it careful because I knew we were going to Napa the next day and I didn't want to be like hungover for Napa by any means or anything like that. So we stayed out until like 10, but by then we had been out since 5, so we were like very much over it. So Saturday we woke up and got ready and then left for Napa, and we actually did this thing called Platypus Tours, which is one of the tour guide groups, whatever bus things, that does tours of Napa, and they book everything for you. So the way it works in Napa is you have to make reservations at most of the wineries. There's like multiple wineries in Napa, like I don't even know how many. Our tour didn't tell us, but if I had to guess, I would say like at least 50 wineries in Napa. So she booked everything for us, like booked our reservations at the wineries and stuff. And so she had chosen everything beforehand, which I felt really bad because a couple of people reached out to me on Instagram and they were like, oh, my family like owns this winery, or I know somebody at this winery, like let me know. And I just didn't know ahead of time that like the tour group was going to plan everything for us. So I didn't know like if I'd be able to go to those wineries or whatever. So we get on the bus, and we go to the first winery, and it was called Judd's Hill, and it actually ended up being my favorite one of the day. First of all, I liked the wine the best there. I'm more of a white, it's hard for me to say like whether I'm a white wine or red wine person, but Sauvignon Blanc is my favorite wine, and so I tend to lean more towards white if there's like a good Sauvignon Blanc. But if not, I don't love, I mean, Pinot Grigio is okay, but you know, and I don't really like Chardonnay at all. It's just like really, I don't know, I don't love the taste of it. It tastes a little bit like cat pee. Anyway, so we go to Judd's Hill. That's where my picture from Instagram was, like the one by myself, where you saw like all the mustard flowers and everything. And then we went to another winery where we had lunch. Our tour, Platypus Tours, had made lunch for us, like sandwiches and fruit and quinoa salad and just all this like really light snacky stuff that you need when you're going to 4 different wineries for the day. So that one was like a little bit more expensive. It was called Auburn James, and I really liked their wine a lot too. They just gave us a lot. I think there were like 6 or 7 tastings at that one. So I was already starting to feel like your palate just gets super tired when you taste a lot of wine. So yeah, so we wine tasted there, and then we ate lunch, and then we left and we went to this third winery that was like in its It was I mean, a lot of them are family owned and operated or whatever, but this one was like, the owner was, his house was on the property too. I didn't like that one, the third one. I don't even remember the name of it. It started with like it was like Madragri or something with an M. I don't even remember the name of it because I didn't like it. I didn't like the wine, and then the lady there was really just like kind of snooty and rude, and I know that it's wine in Napa and it's like a very, you know, prestigious thing or whatever, but this lady was just like, I don't know, she was just really rude to us. I just wanted to like, everybody wanted to be outside, and she was like trying to get us to taste wine in this tiny little room, and there were like 16 of us, and it was just, I don't know, it was weird. But I didn't like the third winery. And then the last winery, I didn't end up tasting at because I was just like, my mouth was just like so tired of wine tasting. And I didn't want to force it. And Taylor and Emily actually split a tasting at the last place anyway, so I didn't feel that bad. And it was called like Tedeschi, I think, Tedschchi, I want to say was the spelling. And I actually really liked their wine. There was a white wine that Emily and Taylor let me try at the end. I think it was a Sauvignon Blanc, or it might have been a Pinot Grigio. I don't remember. But that winery was really beautiful as well. It was more like very small and local feeling, and they were actually getting ready to bottle the wine like in a few days, and so we saw them, I think filtering it was the process that we saw. I don't quite remember, just because I wasn't tasting, so I was like kind of wandering off a little and like, you know, looking at the grounds and stuff. I wasn't like paying super close attention to like what each wine was, only because I wasn't drinking it. So that was Saturday. We finished up, and then we were staying at the Marriott Napa Valley, and so we just ate dinner there in like the whatever club thing that Emily had, and so we ate literally like quesadillas and like little like chicken nuggets and cake, and it was not nutritious like whatsoever. And then we honestly went to bed early like every single night, with the time change for me, it being like midnight. By the time it's 9 p.m. there, I was tired, and it worked out well because everyone wanted to go to bed early. And then so that was Saturday, and then Sunday we hiked up to, so we drove home, and then on the way from Napa to Stanford, we kind of detoured over to see the Golden Gate Bridge, which I've seen before, but it's always a beautiful thing to see because it's, you know, really stunning and whatnot. So we did that, and then we drove home to Emily's, and we stopped along the way at Phil's Coffee for coffee and bagels. And then, so once we were back at Emily's, we got ready and then left for a hike up Windy Hill, which was actually really beautiful. And I want to say the whole thing, I looked at how many miles I walked that day back at my phone, and it was like 8.4 miles, but I don't think the hike was 8.4. I want to say it was like maybe 3.5 each way, so like 7 miles. And again, it's called Windy Hill, and I don't know exactly where we were, but you could see like the Stanford campus from the top of the hike, and it was actually like pretty difficult at times. Like I was sweating on the way up. I had like 2 jackets and my flannel, and then I ended up tying everything around my waist, and then I got up to the top and it was so cold. On the way down, I just put everything back on, and then we went to this restaurant. When we were done, it was like more of a Northern California experience. Like everything so far it had felt very Southern California because it was sunny and palm trees, and even the vineyards to me feels very like Southern California, even though it's really not. But we were up, like there were redwoods, and it was colder, and you know, the hills were windy. It just felt very like NorCal. And we went to this little diner, not diner, but just like little, you know, cute little restaurant tucked away in the woods. We brought the dogs, and then we had our wine from Napa from the day before, and they corked it for us. And then we went to one of Emily's friends, who is actually from Bloomington as well, Amber. Her and her husband also live in California, and we went over to their house and we played a game similar to Mafia, if you've ever played that as a kid. I won't describe it because if you don't, it's too complicated to describe, and if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But it was called Secret Hitler, and it's by the guy that created Cards Against Humanity. So we played that game for like 2 hours, and it's so fun because it's like strategic, and there's, you know, you're trying to convince people that like what political role you are, and I like those types of games because it's very like mentally stimulating and not just like a board game where you roll the dice. So that was really fun. And then we came home and like baked cookies and ice cream, and it was awesome. And then I left the next day, Monday morning. We went to Bliss Coffee where Emily's friend Sam works, and I got some chai there. I feel like I'm being very specific with some of my details, and you're like, I don't care where you had coffee. But that was the last thing we did, and then they drove me to the airport, and then I had a very, very, very long travel day yesterday. So today I'm just like catching up on things, catching up on client emails, just small things like that, doing laundry, folding laundry. I need to go pick up finally my Nikki B stuff from the post office because it was attempted delivery last week when I was at the gym, and I couldn't get it before I left. So that's it. That was my trip. I don't know if you guys cared to hear about it, but a lot of the times I get really positive feedback from you guys when I just like sit here and talk to you, and I figured it would be nice to kind of sit down and recap the weekend because I didn't film. I don't know why it's so hard for me to YouTube around people who don't do it or don't really like, it's hard for me to do it around my friends that don't like watch my videos or like really haven't been around for that part of my life. So like it makes me feel kind of weird. I would have felt really odd like vlogging stuff, but I did also really just appreciate being in the moment and doing all those things and just being there and not being like on my phone or on, you know, my camera or whatever. Everywhere we went, especially in Napa, like the service was terrible, and so I wasn't on my phone the whole time, which like that's the point. But Napa was stunning. That was definitely the highlight of the trip. If you've never been to Napa, like highly, highly suggest it. Judd's Hill was easily my favorite, like the most stunning views. Literally looked like we were in Tuscany. It was just absolutely incredible. And when I was there, I was just like, this is literally a dream. I don't want to wake up. It's so, so stunning. And I hope that you guys someday get to experience it or have experienced something like that in your life. It's been a long time since I went. I mean, I've traveled with Ghost and stuff and gone to Vegas and the LA Fit Expo, but we didn't really get to do much when we were at the LA Fit Expo in terms of like exploring and whatnot. Not only that, but there's not a lot of like nature-y, like stunning things like Napa near LA. But anyway, I digress. It was an awesome weekend. I probably need to like rub the dry shampoo in my hair a little bit better. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed me talking to you about it, and I will catch you in the next clip. I'm sorry for this being really long already, but yeah, I'll just take you guys along for the rest of my day, and hopefully you guys enjoy the video. So the rest of my Nikki B stuff got here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and open it for you guys on camera, I suppose. I ordered, you know, I have the coral set and the black set, and then I ordered, like 2 minutes later, ordered the pineapple bra and the drop back crop top in like the nudish color. And after getting the bras and realizing how freaking tight they were, I wish I would have, oh wait. Did I order it in blush marl? Wow, definitely thought I ordered this in like a nude color. I don't think I ordered this color. Now I really want to look. I mean, I don't hate it. Like, it's still a cute color, but I'm like pretty sure I ordered this not in blush marl. Because I just don't feel like that's something I would pick out. Like, I'm gonna be very surprised if I did. And then the sports bra. Kind of regret this purchase, I'm not gonna lie. Just after the other ones just being too tight. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I'll let you guys know in a second. What's up, you guys? So sorry for the ramble at the beginning of the video, but welcome to the workout. So instead of doing all of my glute activation at the beginning, I was working in about 4 glute activation exercises with my other stuff. So I started off with some glute kickbacks with my extra heavy resistance band that I got from Dick's Sporting Goods. I get questions all the time about where to get these. Honestly, you could order them on Amazon. But I was supersetting those with deadlifts. I was using, I believe, either 25 or 30 pound dumbbells, but I do 20 reps at a time of these in 3 sets. And then for the glute kickbacks, I do 15 reps per side. And then I also do 3 sets of those because I'm supersetting them. I did leg press and I did 3 sets of 25. I wasn't supersetting these with anything. And this leg press is actually super, super heavy. It has the weight on it. It was like 167 pounds. So I tend to go heavy or light on the plates that I use on it. After that, I did just some lunges. Usually I do walking lunges, but I went ahead and grabbed a barbell and just threw it above my head and then did 15 steps per side and repeated that twice. I then did some more glute activation right before I did hip thrusts. So I did abductors with my super heavy resistance band, and with these, it's just the same motion that you'd be making on the abductor machine, but just with a resistance band. And sometimes I will like touch my glutes just to kind of like remind myself to activate them. And then I go right into glute hip thrusts, and I keep the resistance band on because it just forces some extra tension on the glutes and really squeezing at the top. You get the most glute activation when you're at the top. So that is why I focus a lot on making sure that I squeeze when I'm up there, because if you're not squeezing, you're not getting the most out of it. I then did some back extensions and again, just making sure that you're squeezing at the top, even though you might get some ugly ass booty dimples like myself. Yeah, just making sure you're squeezing at the top. I did 3 sets of 20 with these. I don't go down super far, but you know, the point is to really squeeze at the top. And I'm just having a very bad brain fart right now on the rest of my workout, but I finished up with some glute, hamstring curls. God, Kylie. Okay, the workout's over. Enjoy the rest of the video. I'm home from the gym. I'm about to eat my last meal. I had, I'm not sure if you can hear him whining. I had, what did I have post-gym? Oatmeal. I had Go send me the cereal milk one because I usually do blueberry toaster pastry and peanut butter cereal milk, but the cereal milk flavor just goes with, it doesn't like, it has its own flavor, but you can also like mix in other stuff like the cinnamon honey CBD that I have and like just other flavorings, and it kind of just like hides in the background, which I like. But if you're putting in like a peanut butter protein, or as I was saying before I ran out of memory, I had the cereal milk protein because I really was just in the mood for something a little more subtle. So mix that in my oats. I'm currently about to have some chicken noodle soup with a nice PB&J, and this is like the low carb bread. It has, I believe, 8 carbs per slice, which is awesome. I've got a tablespoon of peanut butter and a serving of sugar-free jelly on there, and then this is just like the Progresso light chicken noodle soup, so it's like 70 calories per serving, 140 for the whole can, so it's only 20 carbs. I believe 12 protein and like 1 fat, so not bad for my last meal. Nice and voluminous and homey, and just a nice little last meal, warm and cozy, just what I need. So I'll catch you guys in the next clip, which is probably just gonna be in the morning for like a minute, and I will hopefully get this video up Wednesday because I know it's been a hot minute since I uploaded. So I'll catch you guys in the next clip. So I probably should have just wrapped up yesterday because this morning I feel like absolute death. Yeah. Don't know why I didn't just wrap it up yesterday when I had the chance, because I could have just edited and got the video up last night. But anyway, that's gonna go ahead and wrap up today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Sorry for it just being kind of weird content. I don't know, just getting back in the swing of recording and things like that. And sometimes it's hard to get back, you know, back on the YouTube game when you've been MIA for a little while. And I feel very, I don't know what it is recently, but I have just felt like anti social media, like the idea of having to post on Instagram or whatever, it just makes me like, I don't want to. I want to like just escape and take a minute and just be in my world and not the one on social media, because it's just, I don't know, sometimes it just gets to be too much. Like, I don't know. I think regardless of like the size of my accounts, I would feel that way. Like sometimes you just feel like you need to disconnect, but anyway, I feel very disconnected from it already, even though I'm still doing it. So anyway, I'm gonna go because my battery is blinking. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It wasn't too boring for you, but I will see you guys in the next video, which I promise will be in a couple of days. Bye guys.